Okay, I have a new effect to share with you today, and as you can see, I have 16 cards on the table of various values, suits, and colors. So let's go ahead and gather these up. Now, what I need you to do is randomly choose a color, red or black, and we'll work with whatever color you choose. So which would you like? Black? Okay, very good. So what I need you to do now is I need you to freely choose any black card as your selection. Okay, and so I think what I would probably do in practice is go ahead and maybe just spread these out for the spectator. You can see them there. And then maybe turn my back as the performer. They would just reach in here, grab any black card that they like, and then maybe turn all of the cards face down so that I don't see it, right? So maybe they'll come in here and choose the ace of spades. It's kind of a nice card, but you wouldn't know that as the performer. Have the spectator turn those cards face down, set their selection down as well next to the rest of the deck. Okay, and then go ahead and ask the spectator, would they like you to replace this card with the top or the bottom card of our current packet? It is a free choice. Maybe they'll say the bottom card. Okay, so we'll go ahead and take off the bottom card, discard it, and we'll put theirs on the bottom. Okay, very good. In fact, we don't even need the rest of the deck. Okay, now from here, the spectator is making all of the remaining choices. In fact, what we're going to do, let me just show you. Now I'm speaking to you as the performer. We're going to offer the spectator 3 different mixing procedures that can be performed as many times as they like, and that is a true statement. And the first one is just the standard left-right dealing with random stacking, left on right or right on left, spectator decides, so maybe left on right. Okay, so you can do one of those or many of those. Let the spectator decide. Here's some additional mixing you can offer the spectator just fine. Go ahead and deal out into 4 piles in this way, and then they can randomly stack the top row on the bottom or vice versa. Maybe they want bottom on top, that's fine. Random stacking here, maybe right on left. You can do one of those or many of those. Give the spectator the choice to repeat that as many times as they like. And then the third one looks similar, but it's actually quite different. You deal out into 4 piles again, but this time they can randomly stack the columns on top of each other, left on right or vice versa. Maybe they'll want left on right, that's fine. And then random stacking of these piles, top on bottom. Okay, you can do one of those or many of those. You truly, truly can. Let the spectator decide. Now, once they're happy with the mixing and are convinced that the cards are beyond the knowledge of anyone, to finish, all we're going to do is I'm going to hold the cards like this and perform a Klondike shuffle into 3 piles. So I'm taking the top and bottom cards off as one. Pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and then you just repeat that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then we run out of cards. And then we stack pile 1 on top of pile 3 on top of pile 2. So just in reverse order. That's all you do. And then from here, I'm just going to deal out the top 8 cards, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go ahead and just move them into their own piles. Okay? And then just explain to the spectator that there really is no way for me as the performer to possibly know the identity of the card that they freely chose. But the important thing for them to remember is that the cards themselves know what the spectator chose, because they know which of those 16 cards was switched out with the spectator's chosen black card. Now, the only tricky part is, how will the cards communicate to us the identity of the spectator's card, since they can't speak to us? Well, let's just take a look at these piles and see if a clear message is being sent. Okay, so here's the first pile. Go ahead and just spread it out. Oh boy, okay, those are all black. Okay, and what about these? Oh, wait a second. Do you think there's a subtle message being conveyed to us by the cards? Let's see, these are all black. These are all red with one imposter, the ace of spades. It sure looks to me that a clear message is being sent that the card that you freely chose was the ace of spades. Is that true? And of course the spectator is going to say, it is, and how in the world did you do that? Okay, so let's show you how we did that, okay? So quickly, so we need our red card back. Here is how to set up the packet. It's not hard to do, okay? So you just begin with 8 red, 8 black. So this is a quick setup, okay? And so what you do is we use a clever technique by Werner Miller to set this up as a quasi-Bessey sequence of order 16. So you push off pairs of cards into a triangle configuration. In fact, it's the same structure that we used, but with the Klondike shuffle just a moment ago. So you just go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 repeatedly. Pick up this one first, which is what we did at the end of the routine, but we use the Klondike to create pairs, okay? And then the final step for the setup is to perform a mange shuffle. Either an over-under or under-over will work just fine. So this is exactly the sort of packet that I showed you at the beginning. Okay, so this is the quasi-Bessey sequence of order 16. If you're familiar with my channel, I can add links in the description below to these structures so you can learn about them. But the fact is you don't need to understand the structure to be able to make use of this. So this is the packet that we showed. Now the only subtlety I need to mention here is you give the spectator the freedom to choose red or black as their card from the rest of the deck. Remember that? We kind of spread out the cards and then we have them choose without us seeing what card they're choosing. Now, if they choose a black card, which is what happened in the performance, you know, if they choose like a black 8 or something, all you need to do is replace this with either the top card, which is red, or the bottom card, which is also red. Okay, and if you do that, and then do all of the other steps with the mixing that I showed you, and the final procedure that I showed you, this black card is going to be standing out like a sore thumb among 7 red cards, just as we saw in the performance. Okay, now what happens if they happen to want a red card? That's just fine. There, all you say is, okay, would you like me to replace this red card with a card somewhere in the middle of the packet? Which is easy to justify because you're essentially trying to hide where their card is by putting it somewhere in the middle. Well, somewhere in the middle here will be the 8th or 9th positions. Well, the 8th and 9th positions are these two right here, which just happen to be kings. That was serendipity, but they're both black. That's the key. So it doesn't matter if you switch it out with the 8th position card or the 9th position card. You'll be switching a red with a black. And the only difference at the end is you'll have a completely red packet of 8, but then a completely black packet of 8, except for their selection, the red 2 of hearts. Okay, and so it'll stand out nonetheless. Okay, so anyway, that's the secret. You should be able to do this right away. Just a few steps to keep track of. And if you want to understand what's going on here, take a look at the links in the description below. And I appreciate you watching and encourage you to take a look at other videos on the Absolute Math Magic channel.